How do you break the cycle of meaninglessness? To break the cycle of emptiness and zero, you must get the same circle and turn it into an infinity sign. Ooh, we got the light right here. And I mean, the circle has no beginning and it has no end, correct? Yet it is a painful process, the circle of life. You have birth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death. And it's a very mortal process, but once again, it never ends. Obviously, this is just food for thought. In terms of reincarnation, I don't personally subscribe to it, but also I don't know. I don't know what's out there. But as long as you are derived of the ego, and as long as you have birth and death, this cycle will continue. The cycle of duality. And if you are truly connected to Source, if you are truly existing from a place of non-duality, there is no circle, there is no birth and death, because whenever you leave this lifetime, you are simply experiencing the death of the ego. The death of the ego, the birth of a new ego. But, this is a quote from The Power of Now, and it said, the goal in life is to die before you die, and that literally means to have your ego die before your body dies. And once that occurs, then basically, if you have an ego death and the ego stays dead and you realize your personality is a construct and you're just 100% present for the rest of your life. Let's say reincarnation is real, for this example. You go into your next lifetime and nothing has changed. You're the same soul, no ego, just in a different body in a different place. And then you live that lifetime. If you don't develop an ego for the entirety of your life, then you're born into the next body. And you go through the flow of life, the stream of consciousness without attachment. And voila. Voila. That is, in my perspective, if reincarnation exists, and if there is a way out of it, then the only way out of it is to not be in the cycle anymore, to not have a birth or death anymore. And what that means is to have no ego. In order to eradicate birth and death altogether, to cut this circle and for it to be a line, hypothetically, then you have to cut all ties to the ego. And it's painful, and it's a very confusing line, because in a way your ego is there to protect you. It is truly trying to protect you, and you're trying to set boundaries in relationships with others or in life and in in ethical terms, because without the ego it would be hard to really define morality and all of these things. But living from a place of love, from a place of oneness, that isn't necessarily needed, because you truly know. Obviously this could be subjective for certain cases, but it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. And it's once you break the cycle and go into non-duality, there's no more self-preservation. And there's this whole concept of love heals everything it touches. If you are living from a place of love, infinity, Source, God, then everything you touch will be healed if you are truly living from non-duality. Everything you touch, because if you perceive things a certain way, that will change how people perceive themselves in a positive way. So it's when we're living from this place of the ego, it's maybe you see flaws in other people, maybe you see flaws in yourself that you would like to heal, but you cannot do it from a place of duality. And the lines get blurred, because spiritual psychosis is a thing, and definitely people can take advantage of it. But if you're living from a place of love, you can see things clearly, and you can understand things in a way where you don't get hurt. Like, you're kind of invincible when you're living in non-duality, because you're not trying to preserve your personality. You're not trying to preserve this, that. You see things at face value. If someone hurts you, you can see that it's a reflection of themselves, and that will make you strong enough to overcome it and regulate. So, I don't know, food for thought. Comment down below how, because this cycle, the non-duality, the death of the personality is the answer to non-duality. To realize that your personality is a construct based on your experiences, and to realize that you are just pure awareness. That is all you are. But how do we take this into healthy relationships? I'm going to be meditating on that, because let's say I eradicate my personality. The fact that collectively we believe that other people believe they are separate from us kind of creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because I could be like, okay, I eradicated my personality, but that dude over there, my friend over there, has a personality. So now we have to get through their personality to go non-duality, right? But then you realize, wait, well, their personality in your head is an illusion, because in their head, who they think they are is not who you think they are. So it's all subjective. And I guess the way to really step into non-duality on the next level is to eradicate your own personality and eradicate everyone else's personality. And then you realize we're all just like creatures roaming this earth. We're just creatures roaming. We're just animals. Eradicate everyone's personality, and then that invisible obstacle, that invisible block to connecting with other people will vanish. So I want to do this. I challenge you to do this. You can't change what was done in the past. I have regrets. I'm sure everyone has regrets. But you can live now. In the past, it goes on for eternity, but at the same time, it's gone forever. So do with that what you will. Have a great day.